Kano, the jewel of West Africa, where the old inspires and shapes the new. Africa's commercial hub, a place where everything you sow grows. A national and international trade hub, where natural resources, economic stability, and forward-thinking leadership combine. Since 2015, Kano has transformed itself to a must-visit destination for investors across the globe. This is Kano, the haven for forward-thinking investors. Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje came into power in 2015. So how prepared is Kano State for domestic and international investors?
First of all, Kano is the commercial nerve center of the northern part of Nigeria, and even a commercial nerve center of some West African countries. As you can see, we are always being visited by nationals of West Africa because of commercial activities here in Kano. The first thing that we are doing is to make sure that there is peace and stability. Because without peace, investment is very, very difficult. Investors will not be attracted to come to Kano.
Kano State established what we call KIPA, Kano State Investment Promotion Agency, which deals with investments and investors coming to Kano. Under it, we equally have a one-stop shop for investors. When you go there, all your needs will be addressed, be it land, be it registration, be it tax issue, be it even labor.
Any processing of any investment proposal in Kano State that requires the approval of federal authorities, we take it as also our responsibility to work with the investor to ensure that he gets minimum delay in acquiring those incentives. We also have a responsibility of looking for local investors, because some investors, especially foreign ones, may wish to have local partners. And this we try to do in cooperation with the Kano Chamber of Commerce, the Manufacturer Association, and other trade groups within Kano State.
We create an enabling environment compared to our comparative advantage, especially in agriculture, especially in the production of rice, production of wheat, production of tomato. And we provide an enabling environment by discussing with the farmers to find out what are their actual problems, and then to see how foreign investors can come and build in on what our farmers are doing. For example, our farmers can produce rice, but to process the rice into so many products, you require foreign investors. The same thing with wheat, the same thing with tomato. So, and also, investors can also come and produce the crops themselves, especially that we are blessed with so many dams here, and farming is both during the rainy season and the dry season, and therefore those investors who are interested in agriculture, we provide free land.
We have the highest number of cooperatives in the country. We have formed our farmers into cooperatives, and these farmers, we have trained them on how they can access fundings. They are used to it and they are ready. So partnership with anybody that will come is not going to be something that is difficult. So the state government is there to facilitate that, that is to empower our farmers and then to protect the investor.
Any investor who comes to Kano and wants to invest in any field, and he gives us or our agency the need or the requirement of land for the purpose of setting up that agency, we will immediately make a recommendation to His Excellency the Governor, who always approves the allocation of land to such investors.
Kano is also the largest producer of tomatoes. There is a lot of opportunity in terms of that. Tomato is only one. There is pepper, there is onions, the cash crops, the sesame seed, the hibiscus. We have the biggest factories that process that. We have abundance of that. And most of the neighboring states too that grow that, they bring it down to Kano. So it puts Kano in a position that stands as advantage when it comes to investment.
In Kano, as I speak today, we have about 17 number dams. All these dams have potentials for hydroelectricity generation. Now, these dams are there, some of which are only being utilized for irrigation. They are not being put to their optimum. We will want investments in this regard, in a situation whereby investors from near, far and wide, within and from outside, foreign direct investment should come to Kano, so that we should be able to now convert this huge body of waters to generate electricity.
In Kano, we have relative power supply, especially within the industrial sites in the state. And the state government is equally doing its best. We are already at the verge of concluding the Tiga hydropower plant. And then the Chalawa is equally ongoing.
We have already provided a Tiga power supply that is going to meet all the needs of our industries in the next up to 2 to 3 years.
We have suffered a lot during the past from the power supplies, but thanks to the Kano state government now, we are having a uninterrupted power supply, which is helping us a lot.
With the kind of scale at which we are opening Kano up, we are hopeful that there will still be a further investment opportunity for power.
We have the Dangote group of companies that will produce solar energy. We provided the land. And the same thing with a Chinese company, the same thing with an Indian company. So you can see that already we have some investors in the production of electricity through using the solar system. Any other areas for the investors? That is why we are holding the Lagos Kano Economic and Investment Summit, so that we put all our cards on the table for international and local investors to see which areas that they can come in.
When you look at the processing plants of rice, Kano has the highest number of processing plants of rice. Kano has the largest grain market in West Africa, the Dawano market. Kano has the highest number of seed companies, and Kano produces 60% of the seeds in the country, while Nigeria produces 65% of the seeds in West Africa. This shows the advantage Kano has in terms of cultivation.
From Kano, we trade as far as Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad, and Togo. They trade with Kano heavily.
Presently, Kano State is going to access over $200 million from the Islamic Development Bank. Chunk of that is going into infrastructure development in terms of irrigation. And that will bring about the issue of cultivation twice or even 3 times in a year.
We have massive infrastructural development in Kano. As I speak to you, we have over 10,000 kilometers of tarred road in Kano metropolis. This includes asphaltic and surface dress roads. This has really helped in the economic activities of Kano, in the movements of goods and persons, and freight.
The state is ready for the establishment of the biggest abattoir in the country, and we're ready to partner with whoever is willing to come. We have the design, we have the site, We have everything.
We equally re-engineered and reinvigorated our Kano State Internal Revenue Services to be more efficient in tax administration. We have harmonized a lot of our taxes. From about 200, we brought them down to about 19. And a part of the incentives, given is some tax relief given to investors between 3 and 5 years tax relief.
From the export incentive collected, my MD ventured into the Mahmouda Agro and allied products, and this company has grown to an extent that it is now employing over 3,000 workers, which brings the total workforce to about 5,500 workers.
We have also recently been given an award by the Presidential Ease of Doing Committee that is chaired by His Excellency the Vice President, Professor Emi Oshimanjo, that Kano has moved so many places up that it has improved significantly in its own ease of doing business. And on account of that, we have had quite a number of inquiries coming in from international investors who have been viewing developments in Nigeria. We have the Durbar, for instance, that we had the NTDC also give us the proposal to the extent that the Durbar will no longer be the Durbar that you see sometimes you have difficulties in accessing the place.
In Kano, because of our population and with the civil service of over 40 million, the need for housing and housing deficits are very high. So any investor in this regard will smile home because he will have good investment for his money. There is the need, there is the market, there is the population, and there is goodwill and resolve from government. Government has established mortgage arrangements for civil servants to be able to participate in the housing scheme. Also, we are trying to develop an economic city within the metropolis. This economic city is well over 250 hectares in terms of land mass. And in this area, we are going to go into modern and sophisticated approach to marketing. As you are aware, Kano, being an ancient center of commerce, has already an existing structure of marketing, nature of sales, and general commercial activities. Now we want to marry our history with the recent development in the world. So this is one of the areas that investors coming to Kano should be interested.
As we know, the Kano International Airport is the very first international airport in Africa. It became the gateway into Africa, and it's going to go back to that position, so that whoever is going anywhere in Africa, from Africa will come into Nigeria from wherever he is, come in here. So we need to set that stage. We are looking at this happening in the next couple of months, not years.
Kano State is endowed with a lot of soil minerals. We have an area in Kano called the Railway area. This area is well known worldwide for solid minerals. There's also a glass industry in the pipeline because an area in Dambata area has a lot of silica sand, which is used in the production of glass.
Whoever is interested in coming to invest in solid minerals in Kano is considered as coming in to do a prime investment. And therefore the state is not only committed to facilitating access for licenses and approvals, but the state is also committed to providing any further relief necessary.
In the field of education, that one too is another area that people can invest, because being the most populous state in the federation, of course we have the most number of youth here. Despite the 2 universities we have, we are still sending our students abroad. Therefore, for those who would like to invest in education, we welcome them. We provide free land for them, and also we assure them that we can have a synergy with them to ensure that we are sending our children into their educational institutions.
We have also what we call the brownfield. Brownfield investment means existing industries that have closed in Kano, for which we look for other investors to come and invest. We are working in this regard. Since recently, an acquisition was made on one of the largest African textile mills, called the African Textile, here in Kano by a foreign investor.
Kano is a place to be. Kano is a place to have investment because there is going to be good return for any investment.
Come and invest in Kano, the center of commerce of sub-Saharan Africa and the continent.
Come to invest in Kano, of course, it's a very good business.
Come and explore the investment opportunities in Kano. It is good business.
Lagos, Africa's fifth largest economy, the melting pot of opportunities, the commercial capital of Nigeria, the nation's economic nerve center, the powerhouse of the country. With a population of over 21 million and contributing 30% to Nigeria's GDP, Lagos is the seventh fastest growing city in the world with a growth rate of 10% per annum. It's Nigeria's entertainment district with hotels, restaurants and bars, secluded sandy beaches and a bustling nightlife. Lagos is a center of excellence. Meet the man changing the face of the city, a man with a dream, the political underdog.
I like to dream, and you know, for anybody that dreams, most times you like good dreams to come to pass. So the last 22 months is about vision, just envisioning a new Lagos.
May 29th, 2015, Akinwumi Ambode was sworn into office. A life of public service was a familiar one to him, having served under previous governments for 27 years. But this was the right time for him to take a part in shaping the history of Africa's most cosmopolitan state.
It's a privilege for me to have been elected as the governor of Lagos State. I am humbled by the responsibilities that have been put on my shoulders.
Like anyone taking on a new job, Ambode knew that the road ahead was a tasking one, but he was prepared. He made his promises and set out to work. June 2014, oil prices peaked at $115 per barrel. Good news for oil-producing Nigeria. Global investors rushed into the West African nation, hoping to get a piece of its emerging market. But things changed. Oil price dropped to $35 per barrel at the end of 2015, bringing on a new challenge for the newly installed government. Investors suddenly changed their views on oil-dependent Nigeria to a more cautious one. Lagos State was in an economically shielded position, given the foundation of its financial autonomy. But Ambode saw what was coming. He knew that to sustain the transformations going on in the city, revenue generation efforts needed to be doubled. He pushed for a transparent and incorrupt government and set out to reduce the cost of governance. He wanted to move with the times, knowing fully well that the world had gone digital. Within a year, Ambode simplified the tax collection methods of the state. The state internally generated revenue increased significantly within Ambode's first 2 years in office. As a result, the Lagos State budget also increased and capital expenditure doubled. Nigeria depends on oil for 90% of its exports. With a drop in oil prices, the federal government stressed the need to diversify the economy, and agriculture was at the forefront of its diversification plans. Ambode identified the agribusiness sector as one of the viable areas to boost its revenue generation in the wake of dwindling oil prices. Rice is a staple food in Nigeria, yet the country imports the majority. Ambode wanted to change this. He signed a memorandum of understanding with the Kebbi state government aimed at developing the rice chain value in Lagos while empowering its youths by providing jobs. This led to the launch of a cheaper and more affordable rice brand called Lake Rice. This rice was made available to the people of Lagos in December 2016 at a subsidized rate.
Make it in Nigeria, use what we make what we use. I am an unrepentant convert of this ideology. We have demonstrated it. We have professed it through our Lake Rice partnership with Kebbi State.
But Ambode had bigger plans for revenue generation. Lagos is a city that has enormous potential when it comes to tourism, arts and culture. The city is known for its rich history, its bustling, effervescent lifestyle, events, carnivals and festivals. It is a natural location for tourism, with its sandy beaches by the Atlantic Ocean.
Lagos is in a very unique position to attract tourists to this place.
In spite of its natural assets, the city was in dire need of a revamp in this space, and Ambode saw this as an opportunity. His plan was to market Lagos as a destination with rich entertainment content and at the same time create jobs for the tourism sector and provide a more enabling environment for businesses to thrive. And he was willing to do all that was required to make Lagos the hub of entertainment and arts in Africa. Businesses in this space started to reap the benefits.
In the past, we didn't do much with government. We've been a very private organization. But with the Ambode administration, we got invited on board to do a couple of projects for government, especially in the art spaces. The governor decided that he wanted to have art installations all over the city. Now, it takes a certain type of appreciation of beauty and arts in general for you to want to do that.
And it soon became clear to all that Ambode's plan for the tourism sector worked. People from all over the world poured into the state for a host of events, and the governor succeeded in creating 10,000 jobs in the sector within 2 years.
You can use tourism, you can use entertainment and arts, you can use culture, you can use hospitality, you can also use sports to drive a new Lagos.
Back to the center hall. Thank you.
Anywhere. The white-collar job syndrome is dead. I don't have jobs for people in Alausa here. It's not going to happen. So the new jobs are in creativity and innovation. They are in service. So I, as the driver of that new initiative, I need to create a platform that creates a convergence between hospitality, sports, entertainment, arts. And that's why you see I'm big on it. And I also show it by way of style and practice. I'm involved with the artists, I'm involved with the entertainers, I'm involved with curators, I'm involved with people who are running hotels. Because I see the future of Lagos there. That's where the future of Lagos is.
What Governor Ambode has done in essence is that he has put credibility into the arts. He's made people see the arts as a veritable tool for job creation, as a tool for enhancing the skills and the creative minds of young people, and also letting people recognize that Nigerians are talented.
But things didn't get easier in Nigeria as a whole. August 2016, the nation sunk into a recession for the first time in 2 decades. Life in Africa's most populated nation became more and more difficult. The currency weakened and businesses suffered. Globally, the city of Lagos and its land of opportunity suddenly looked less attractive to cautious investors, with many pulling back. At a time when many leaders would have lost hope, Ambode pushed through the recession.
Last year, we got more internally generated revenue than any other year that this state has ever been in place. And that's happening in a recession. So what's happening? That means we're getting a good feedback on the capital expenditure that we're pumping into the system. So as we pump more money, more people are working, and then we're getting more taxes.
Historic Lagos Kano Economic and Investment Summit 2018. Let's have a round of applause for Professor Afizu. Please, a good round of applause, please. Thank you. Hello.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, the Governor of Lagos State and Kano State, Your Excellency, the Governor of Kebbi State, Your Excellency, my colleague, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, distinguished Senator, and other members of the National Assembly here present, distinguished participants, discussants, presenters, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. After a very long day, I think I want to be very brief to say it's been a very great day for this very historic and momentous occasion, and that is the Lagos Kano Economic and Investment Summit, which is the first of its kind, and I want to believe the first of its kind in the country, which is set by our visionary leaders, our two governors that have a vision for these two great states of the country. Throughout the discussions today, the emphasis says, first and foremost, we need visionary leadership because nothing positive happens without a vision. Secondly, after a vision, you need to plan. After planning, then you go into implementation. To be able to have a vision, plan, and implement, you need, as a background, the theme of our first plenary, which is good governance. Good governance ensures inclusiveness, participation, the thriviness of equity, fairness, and justice in governance, and therefore, at the end of it, the opportunities for developing societies and creating wealth and prosperity. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, these two great states and cities with very rich history that it actually has been there before even the creation of Nigeria are certain examples. We have learned so much today about the opportunities that lies in this relationship. And therefore, I want to seize the opportunity to thank His Excellency, the Vice President of this country, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, who was here to grace the occasion, to declare the summit open, and to offer the support that is much needed of the federal government in terms of this very great association. And to also thank all the two technical committees from Kano and Lagos, and all those involved in organizing this occasion, and particularly our brother, His Excellency, the Governor of Kebbi State, for making it to join his brother, the Governor of Lagos and Kano here in Lagos. I think, Your Excellency, you are just proving your credential actually as an investment-loving governor, and we have seen it on ground. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we want to say a big thank you to to each and everybody that is associated with organizing this great event. Thank you, and may God bless Lagos State, Kano State, and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Kano State. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the day one of this summit. However, the evening continues for us to relax. You know, Governor Ambode is a wonderful host. You agree? Put your hands together. Now, he's inviting all the participants to his private residence for dinner at 8 o'clock. Okay, those are just the people who will come, the number of them that are clapping. Few people. So we can tell the caterers to change their mind. Anyway, this is how we'll do it. There will be buses available to move you from here. Because if you look at the time, I think it's just almost 7 o'clock or getting just past 7. So we'll make the organization and let you know. However, we'll need to get here very early tomorrow morning. We're going to start right on the dot of 10 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been a wonderful set of participants. Please put your hands together for yourselves. And we thank God for you and pray that you will get here safely tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. We'll eat together this evening. No, I'm not talking there. So, Your Excellencies, the evening is young.
The silent achiever embarked on an aggressive road construction project, leading to the rehabilitation of over 3,000 roads within 2 years. He also set up a mobile court to ensure that traffic violators were tried and prosecuted. Traffic in Lagos eased.
This bridge, it's wonderful. It's wow. Because before, if you are coming to Aja, you'll be like, you see the hold up, you'll be stressed up.
Bridge Aja kò jẹ́ kó dọ̀pọ̀ wà. Ó jẹ́ kí gbogbo ẹ̀ neat, gbogbo ẹ̀ ti ẹ̀ dé. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ọ̀gá wa ń bọ̀dé. Ọlọ́run ó jẹ́ kọ́wọ́ wọn máa lọ òkè, ọwọ́ wọn ò ní wá, agbára wọn ò ní wálẹ̀ o. Torí Àjà fine, wọ́n bá dé Àjà sí èèyàn rò pé London ni. Àjà fine, ó make sense. Èèyàn bá dé bẹ̀ èèyàn máa pé tọ̀. À ń bọ̀dé try ní Àjà ń bíbà.
And there is more. New iconic bus terminals and pedestrian footbridges were constructed, all part of the governor's traffic resolution plans.
Everything is now changed. For instance, the relaying of the road and the new terminal at the TBS. Man, I've not seen anything of such. I've traveled to different places here in Nigeria and other countries. It's totally different and it's more beautiful.
But all of this was not enough for the governor. His dream was a Lagos with a fully integrated transport management system that didn't only make use of the roads, but also rail and water.